So this time, from the 2012 return of the Marvel Legends, we're taking a look at the fourth figure in the wave, and that is Klaw. Now, if you notice, for some reason, he's referred to as Marvel's Klaw. I guess there must be some other Klaw attached to a toy line or some other property that they have to distinguish him from that Klaw. Now this is probably the figure out of all of this wave that I really wanted the most. He was the most missed in the first Toy Biz line. With every new wave, I hoped they would do a Klaw. And why is that? Because, well, he's sort of the arch villain of one of my favorite Marvel characters. We'll get to that in a little bit. But for right now, let's just go over the sculpt here. It's fairly nice. He is lean, and that does cause a little bit of worry for me, a little bit, because the weakness of the plastic in this arm here, due to the extra weight of his sonic device here. And you can really tell that sometimes the weight of that really does get in the way of things, as gravity tends to help it drop when at a certain point. And me, I think it's done just a bit larger than it should be. I mean, if it were down to about that size, I think it would fit just fine. You know, it's cool. You know, it's pretty cool right now, but I think it is just a little bit oversized. I mean, even if they brought it just to about here, I think that would be a good size for the sonic weapon. But, you know, it still looks good. It doesn't look too gimmicky, I guess, huge and bizarre. So, it's a bit bigger than I would have wanted it, but it still looks good. Yeah, so the size and the weight of it, I think, might lead to the plastic in here, because it's such a thin frame here, could lead to it getting warped over time. And the other bad thing about it is that this ring here, I've not seen one that hasn't been warped because of the way it sits in the packaging. And so I don't think they could have avoided that, but it's unfortunate. And, you know, from a distance you don't really notice it, but it's just a little nitpick. Now, I'd like to say that, you know, the character, he's not supposed to have a nose. And as you can see in the picture here, there's no nose. But I think they forgot to take away the nose on the sculpt, and they realized it too late. So he's stuck with this pseudo nose. But if you look at him straight on, it doesn't really, you can't really tell. And, you know, it's not that big of a deal for me. But let me say that I am really glad that they painted this figure so well. I mean, all the lines here on the head going back here, his mouth, the Kirby-esque electronic mouth there, is very nicely painted. All the zigzags on his side here, they're all nice and clean. And I do like the red that they've cast the plastic in. I've seen some complaint that there's no shading here, and I think that does go with the character, and I'll explain that a little bit later when I get into the history of this guy. So let's do that now. Klaw is originally Ulysses Klaw. First appears in Fantastic Four number 53 in 1963. And he is this European guy who's, I guess, kind of made a living off of profiting off of the natives in Africa. And so when we're introduced to him, it's through the Black Panther telling his origin story, basically. And so Klaw, early on in the Black Panther's life, attempted to get the Wakandan vibranium in for this weapon that he was creating, this sonic weapon. Because if you're a fan of Marvel, you know that Wakandan vibranium absorbs sound. And so building his sonic device with this metal would make it easier for him to, I guess, I don't know, use sound or whatever, just make it better and not have the weapon destroy itself. So I think he does manage to get some, but he's battling the Black Panther's father, T'Chaka, who at that point was the Black Panther and the King of Wakanda, and actually kills the king in front of T'Challa, who then proceeds to attack him and turn his own sonic weapon against him, destroying his hand in the process. So Klaw then flees. T'Challa is left to deal with his dead father and swears revenge on Klaw. Flash forward years later, when Klaw returns, again trying to get more vibranium for his weapons and various other purposes, and he's sort of the reason why the Fantastic Four is introduced to T'Challa, because if you've read that first appearance, Black Panther basically fights the Fantastic Four as a test to see if he's ready to face Klaw on his own, which he does. And during the fight with Klaw and the Fantastic Four, Klaw actually manages to turn this new device, which he's able to make solid forms out of sound with, and he is caught in this machine and is turned into a being of pure sound. That is why he has left some of his more humanistic features by the wayside, like the nose, and he's got the strange mouth and the black eyes and everything, because he's not really a physical body. I mean, it is physical, but it's made out of physical sound. I know, it's comic books. It's comic book science, so you just have to go with it. He has to be in contact with his sonic device here to be in physical form. And so let's see. So after being defeated, he is recruited to join the Masters of Evil organized by the Crimson Cowl, who was actually Ultron in disguise. And he fights both the Fantastic Four and the Black Panther several times. After that, he is dispersed through space after an encounter with the Dazzler. Go figure. And his energy is collected by Galactus. And finally, during the Secret Wars, Doom is able to reconstitute him into a physical body, although he's gone even more off the deep end, I guess, than a regular supervillain would be. But the body is soon possessed by the Beyonder to get Doom to relinquish the power that Doom stole from the Beyonder. And that all happens during the Secret Wars. After the Secret Wars, he does, I think, pop up several other versions of the Masters of Evil. He even joins the Justine Hammer version of the Masters of Evil and fights the Thunderbolts, the original Thunderbolts, on several occasions. He's recruited by the Wizard to become a member of the Frightful Four, and I think he's last seen as part of the Frightful Four, working for the Intelligentsia against the Hulk. And we haven't seen him, I think, in quite a while. Oh, no, I'm sorry, he just popped up in Daredevil, being manipulated by somebody. So I guess that'll be it for Klaw. And stay tuned for the next review, which will be on the Constrictor. And until then, I'll see ya.